Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to miserable Torquay. So I've gone from sunshine, glorious sunshine and catching stingrays, to sitting down on Torquay Meadfoot Beach with Mr. Connor from OnlyFins. So we've come down today. Now Connor, after our last few sessions, he's been sending me videos. He's been out practicing and that, and I'll tell you what, he's been doing a hell of a well, really. I mean, I've got to give credit when it's credit's due, because he's been down the field and he's just basically trying to put everything into place, slowing everything down and that. Now I've picked up a couple things, but we're going to go through that today. So the idea of today is go through a little talk with me and Connor about how he's getting on and how he's found the first three lessons, and then go through that. And then what we're doing, we're going to go through with him and try and get him to start doing the scoop a bit better, and just like probably overdoing the scoop just to try and get him into position. But yeah, it's in between the rain. Unfortunately, guys, every beach has got people on it, believe it or not. So we've had to come down to Meadfoot Beach. We're on the slipway at the moment, so we're gonna have to be casting in between the cars coming and going, but hopefully trying to get away from the wind a little bit. Hopefully the rain will ease off, and we can obviously just, the main focus for the day really is just to get that cast right. He actually said to me already that, believe it or not, it seems like months ago, but it was only a few weeks ago that we've met. And when he first got these rods, he was casting 30 yards with them. Now they're the SKS Black Sonic Sports. Okay, so they cast up to 7 ounce. They're 14 foot. They're not a soft rod. They're a fairly stiff rod. But he said to me today, he said, Andy, he said he's up to 152 yards on the field, so he's doing really well. He said they feel a little bit too soft for me. I'm going to think about selling them, which is good. If he's saying that to me, the progress is coming. So we'll get Connor to come in now, and we'll go through it. So we have the one and only. You all right, mate?
OnlyFins up the tube.
So wait, how have you been getting on?
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a bit of a nightmare on some things. Obviously,
what have you had a nightmare on?
Lost a few leads. Not gonna lie.
Due to
just practicing, I think, because
bird's nest, overruns, or
overruns.
Snapping off, cracking off?
Yeah, I think it's just because in the field you can keep casting.
Yeah, you can.
But when you're fishing, you only cast like 4 or 5 times.
The other thing you'll find in the field is when you're bringing the lead back, because of the tension of the weight, you're constantly bringing tension around your reel. Right. Where sometimes in the sea, you haven't always got the tension there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? When the lead's dropping or stuff like that, you can sometimes
like
you can do that.
Thing, yeah.
So is that down to the way you're putting the line on your spool, you think?
I just think it's trying too hard.
You do? Too fast?
Yeah, and like sometimes when you come round too quick, or I try and let the magnets off a bit hasty.
My advice to that would be keep the magnets, as long as it's going out and nice and smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as you progress, let them off and off. The main thing, what you want to be doing is make sure the line's not going over, and make sure it's evenly going backwards and forwards. Now I can look on there now. You're not lumped up one side in that. Everything looks like it's naturally flat.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you'll find is if you balance the reel right at the beginning when you're putting the line on, it should do that all the way. What you don't want to do is put the line on, have it like too far that side, and then build up. If you get it naturally at the beginning of the reel, so it comes up, it will naturally go like that all the way through then.
Right.
But the hardest thing is when you're doing that when getting fish, because when you get a fish on, you're like all excited. You know what I mean? And what you want to try and do is look at the reel to make sure that is all evenly on. Because if you don't, you go up too fast. What you'll find is next time you go to cast, bang. That's what happens. I do it if I'm fishing some of the bream marks we fish, and we're fishing at distance, because you're concentrating on getting that fish up so fast and like trying to get it up over the rough ground. I'll do it still now. What I try to do is get the fish up, and then once the fish is up quick, then evenly balance it, and then the next cast give it a light tap, you know what I mean? But rotten bottoms or whatever. But that's good. But I noticed in your casting, you look a lot more confident.
Yeah, I'm definitely building confidence, and
comfortable.
I'm learning that the rod ain't easy to break.
No,
do you know?
I don't. Yeah, some people think that they're going to break your rod if they do nothing. You won't break your rod.
Yeah, or like I was like quite worried about, because obviously I've cracked off when I didn't know what I was doing before. Yeah. But now I'm hitting it, and I'm a bit like, right now I'm hitting it, and it ain't breaking. I'm not too scared to hit it. Whereas before I was like, I didn't want to hit.
You've gone from literally hitting 35 yards maybe to 150 yards in the space of how long? A couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Dedication?
Yeah, I mean, I've been down the field 3 or 4 times, fishing maybe 3 or 4 times as well.
Yeah.
Just putting in the hours, really.
That's it. But it's starting to rain now, guys, so we're trying to keep the camera screen as clean as it can be. But one thing I have noticed, especially about since you have started to cast a bit further, is when you go and fishing, you're constantly into fish.
Yeah, and that proved yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're fishing this beach, and obviously it's a really sandy beach, and I fished it like 4 or 5 times before, and every time I've reeled in, it's been like sand.
Yeah.
And then obviously went down there yesterday, hit a couple of the casts I've been practicing, and I started noticing rough ground. And obviously speaking to you in the car, you did say a little bit further out there is some rough ground. So it does prove that I am fishing further.
And you're getting into smuts on there.
Which I never had before.
Yeah. You get a lot of smaller smuts down on this beach, and he had one about £5 yesterday, which is a good sort of size smut. I mean, when the bigger ones start coming in now, you've always got a chance later on of getting some big ones. I think Paul Freeth many years ago had a 12-pounder. I'm sure it's double figures at least anyway. I'm sure it's around 12 off the car park itself. So he's got a chance of getting some good fish when that's same as Hope Snows. Hope Snows will show doubles, but sometimes it's that little bit extra distance. But it's going to start raining now, so we're going to put the camera away for 5 minutes, and then we'll get all set up, and we'll get some casting done
in a bit.
Right, guys, so we've had to move in a little bit for a minute. It's only gives an odd shower, so we'll do a bit of the talking while we're waiting, but it's started to get a little bit more heavy, so this might be a sit in the car jobby. But as Connor was just saying, so the progress with starting off 30 yards, obviously if you do a few sessions around here and there and stuff, a few blank sessions and stuff like that, by making the difference of casting that extra distance. Now, when I was last time fishing with him, he was casting 80 yards comfortably, so he over doubled the casting he was doing at the beginning. Now he's going down, putting the time and effort in to get in the distance where he's hitting. So he's hitting 150 yards. You're never going to hit 150 yards with a bait on if you're hitting 150 yards with just a plain lead. But at the same time, you're still going to be up there, you know what I mean? And by making that distance, and sometimes having just putting a little bit of time into learning to cast can make a difference. Now, a lot of anglers like to cast a very long way, and they go to the levels of going to the like Westwood casting and Dorchester casting and putting a lot of time into field casting and stuff. And they do it for the one purpose, to be able to cast when fishing, exactly the same as myself. You get other guys that take it as an addiction and turn it into a sport of its own. And when you do that, it is a totally different ball game altogether. As I said, I'm not a tournament caster. I don't class myself as a tournament caster. And my best cast on a field is 250 yards, which is a very long way. I just think sometimes you're making up the numbers, because when you like the likes of Adam, like the Jay Lee, you get some of the real top angler, like top tournament casters in the sport, that difference is massive. When you get that 200 yard mark or that 250 yard mark, and they're walking 30 or 40 yards past you, and you're thinking of, you know, some cases 50 or 60, 70, 80 yards past you, it's a totally different ball game. And I know out of experience, it's time, dedication, and just precision, obviously, of practicing and mastering your cast. And really, you don't need that for doing what we're doing. If you want to obviously learn the skills for angling, you don't need to do that unless you wanted to do tournament casting and go through that. But you said you wouldn't mind doing a bit of Westwood casting.
Yeah, well, I've had a few messages and stuff from people that go, saying maybe to go along just for some tips and that. Yeah. Obviously, the main priority is fishing, because that's what I love to do. Yeah. But I would like to go just to see how the day goes.
What I would suggest,
see if I can
don't do it until the very end. Right, then what I would suggest to do it is to do it a weekend before we do the final session. Yeah. Right, and then basically take your score, what you went away with, your BB of the day. Yeah. And we got something a little bit special for the last session with him. So I'm going to do it for. I was going to do it for session 10, but I think I'm going to do it as a bonus session for 11. I've spoken to Adam, and he's done me a favour, and he's going to spend a few hours with you going through tournament casting. Now, everything I've shown you probably be thrown out the window. I'll be honest, because at the end of the day, everything is a very good teacher. Yeah. I've obviously learned his cast from him, and he'll show you the science behind the background of casting, which I've sort of like shown you a little bit as well. Yeah. But there's a difference, because with a tournament cast, it's something which you'll never see him really do on a beach. Yeah. If we're on the rocks and that, he doesn't even do it there. He does lays back casts all the time. When you see him practicing tournament casting, and we go to like places in Torquay and Payton with no people around, then you'll see it's totally unbelievable. The speed of the lead, the sound, you're like, oh my god, and then you see the reel just going laps. It's just amazing to see. But it's something nice to have, isn't it? Yeah. So then what you could do is you could look at the PB, what you had on the day like that, and then Adam would get his hands on you. Let's go through a few hours and that, and then the next time go down again, and then see how big you jump. Because that's at the end of the day, what we're doing here is angling, is like just putting a bait out. What he will show you is a complete tournament cast. So it's like basically you know what I mean,
held to the lever, just
smash it. But at the same time, it's everything safety. When you go down to Westwood Casting and place like that, you have to have all the leaders, you have to have the double knot on your leads. It's not the stuff we're doing here today. Everything needs to be safe, because you've got people around you.
Right.
So, and it's a court. It's a good day out. I do recommend you going down, because it's fun. I mean, Varian and Mike Benfield and that, some really cracking lads. You know what I mean? Ian Ford, bless him, he's not around anymore, but he was a lovely bloke, and he spent a lot of time with us when I was similar to your age, showing us bits and pieces and stuff like that. And that's what they're there to do at the end of the day. They're there to obviously help promote tournament casting, but at the same time, encourage people to get involved in it. So yeah, but as I said, it's not for everyone, obviously, the casting, but it just shows the benefits of being able to cast. If you cast in 30 yards, spend a bit of time like Connor has down the local field and stuff, watching videos, and get yourself to 60 yards. You know what I mean? And what Connor's found from casting 30 yards to 60 yards is found him a few fish. But to be honest, he's jumped over that. Yeah, within one lesson, he was around 80 yards, I believe. I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, about 80.
Yeah.
And the first time I went into the field, I hit 135.
Right. So how far would you say you're fishing at the minute with a bait on?
Between 80 and 100.
It's more than enough. That's what you need to be doing. Everybody is all you need to be able to do. I know it's nice to hit a bait 150 yards and stuff like that, but that to get there again, that takes a lot of practice and technique and experience.
But that's with the sort of, when you watch it and people can do that like effortlessly. Yeah. But that's with me trying hard. So I want to sort of get to a point where I'm like, just putting a lead out.
Most of the time with me personally is down to my reels.
Right.
Because I like my reels running on the edge, and I mean fast.
Yeah,
but
right.
You need to have your reels running on the edge and that fast. You need to be able to have the knowledge of how to control that reel and when to control it. It's like today now, if we were hitting into that, you wouldn't want that as a setup like Chesil Beach, wind behind you reel. Because as soon as that gets to peak, you know, I mean, that speed's got to be there all the time. I have it so my lead's not being held back by the reel. The lead's pulling line off the reel. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's totally different other way around, where there's no mag there. Basically, I have it set so it's spinning for 7 seconds, and I know that's my setting for it with fishing. A lot of people, even my friends and that, they don't like that. It's too fast for them to fish with. I'll do it out of experience of it at the end of the day, but there is times where I don't get a lot of problem with birds nesting and stuff like that anymore. If I get sometimes a bit greedy on with a camera and like that, I'll forget, you know what I mean, I've done it over in Sport Enduro, I'll be like, boom, you know what I mean, whoops, I swore then, if you know what I mean.
A little beep.
Yeah, a little beep beep. Yeah, so I let thumb straight on the spool. Yeah. And I don't get like the major like burst. That's why I love a multiplier. I hate fixed spools, if I'm honest. Yeah. Just because the comfort, the multiplier's there, you've got everything in control in your hand and that side there. With a fixed spool, I find it's more like.
I think it adds another skill to fishing. Yeah. Because it's not as easy as just going.
No, it is multiplier. Yeah, 100%.
You've got to think about what you're doing, and it makes it fun.
It's a control.
Because you're learning.
It's a control of the fish and that with a multiplier as well. I find you've got all that leverage, and it's just everything's comfortable.
You can feel the power of the rod when it's the other way around, if that makes sense.
You can.
Because when you've got your rod with a fixed spool on and it's like bending over, you got it and it goes in half. Yeah. But then when you've got it the other way around and you've got your reel on, the top end bends and you can feel everything. Yeah. Like you're not just trying to pull into a bend. No. You can move the fish. You have
a lot of when you're building rods, it's going into so technical again, but you have a spine of a rod. Right. So normally with a multiplier, obviously it'd be rung to the spine of the rod. With a fixed spool, it would be normally the opposite way, because with a multiplier, it's bending over that side. Yeah. Where on a fixed spool rod, it'd be, you know what I mean? So it needs to be built differently to have the full response, because if you put a guide on a fixed spool rod the opposite way round, it'll be a lot softer than, because it'll be built off the spine. Okay. So many years, not going back a few years ago now, I had a rod and I bought it off Rob York, SU, Ziplex SU, very stiff, strong rod, and I loved it for my fishing. And it got to a stage where I had that much batter and bruising, I needed to get it obviously rerung, right, basically, and get rebuilt. So I got someone what I thought knew about rod building, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of rod builders around and you like things. So I basically said to this guy, I said, how much can you build the rods for? And he said, I'll do them for like, well, I think it was 120 quid a rod or something stupid like that. And then I wanted all like detailing, all stuff like that done on it. And I got them, they look fantastic. The general build and the look of the rod was you couldn't fault, you know what I mean? It looks really good. But the trouble was, the detailing, the spacings of the eyes and the main one, it wasn't built off the spine of the rod. So when I went to cast it, I thought, this feels really soft. And I was down fishing down on B-sands, and my mate looked up to me and said, Andy, your line's touching your blank. I was like, what? And I looked up, and it was. Where the line should be lifting up into the eyes, it was touching my blank in 2 sections. So it showed me straight away the eye spacings, what I had originally, were out totally. So I thought, what's going on here? And then me and Adam went and had a little play around, and it was built quarter off the spine of the rod. So instead of being run on the spine of the rod, it's been run on that. But if you need it to be obviously dead center to get the full power in the rod. So I'd never let I'm very, well, it's taught me a lesson, because in the end, my rod ended up snapping because of it. I was up North Devon, and the tip section, as I was reeling in, the tip section went. And I thought to myself, it was a lesson well learned. Sometimes you've got to go to established rod dealers, because there's a lot of people that seem to think they can rod build, and they can't. Like Aaron Ensley, fantastic. Daryl in South Wales, another one. Roscoff, he does a lot of the Ziplex and Century rods and that further up the line now. All you ever hear is really good feedback, but what you'll find is a lot of people are like, oh, I can do that, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of difference.
They just send it on YouTube.
Doing the whipping and stuff like that, because I know a few people are really good at doing the whipping, and it looks pretty, but if you've got, like, Andy Muse is probably one of my favourites. Andy Muse, everything was like jet black with a skull, and it just looked neat and tidy, but you knew that rod was down to the specification. Everything was, you know what I mean? He knew what he was doing.
It's the same as when like you're casting. Like it's like me watching a video on YouTube and then going to try it, and it looks good. It doesn't go any farther, but it looks better.
I think
but then when you go and do it, and you actually get after it, do you know what I mean? Then you know that's just the way to do it.
Yeah, you know at the end of the day, you just started off with a multiplier. You're a few weeks in, you're doing really well. You're at 150 yards on the field. You know what I mean? You've never used a multiplier before, except from 2 weeks ago. And you've gone out, bought 2 casting specials, and you bought a Mag 525 Mark IV. I mean, you've got some good reels there to use and to learn with. And you're always going to. They used to call me Captain Krakoff when I first used to start, because every time I was fishing, I was practicing casting. It's the worst time to practice. What you want to do is, if you're going down the field, release them at the mag. Get them running fast if you want, see if you get extra distance, have some line in that. But when you go fishing, you want everything set accordingly, so you haven't that problems with cracking off and stuff. So you can hit it the same every time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're down here today and we've got 4 hours of fishing over the top of the tide, that's the most important part of the tide to fish, isn't it? You don't want to be bird's nesting and having to respawn in those times. You're less time out the water. We'll go through it a bit more of this, but there's no one here at the minute, so we're going to have a few casts. So I'm going to get Connor to have a cast quickly, and then we'll go through some, hopefully, advice and get you casting a bit further.
100%.
Okay guys, so Connor's getting the reel all set up here at the minute. As I said, we've got incoming breeze due to just the simple case that a lot of the beaches are full of people at the moment. It's the only time we've got to do it. We're doing it down on Meadfoot Beach, but we're gonna have to just obviously watch ourselves between passing cars and that, because he's casting out into the road, into the sea. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to cast today, okay? All I'm basically down here to do is trying to get him to exaggerate that scoop a bit more, and then get him scooping. So we're going to get him to do 2 casts. So first cast, I'm going to basically, I'm not going to say nothing to him either. I'm going to stand behind, get him to cast, and then the next one I'll cast him from the front, and we can go from there. Okay guys, so here we have Connor. We've had to wait for the cars to go past and the walkers to disappear, but he's going to basically do a thing now. Right, so very slow. It went out fair distance, as you can see. What line's that? 20 pound?
18 pound.
18 pound. Ooh.
ASSO.
ASSO 18 pound. Very nice.
There you go.
Is that the hard skin?
Yeah.
Are you getting on with that?
Good. I like it. It's nice to reel in. It's not too thin. I did have lighter line on there, but I did start getting, I don't know whether it's because it was lighter, when the wind was taking it, I was getting bird's nest. Keep that reel up so you don't get snagged. But we got him back, boy. We got him
back. I'm going to go through some rods control and fish control a bit later on as well, some details on it.
I just got that right back.
Bit of weed on it. He's hit that tide line. Whee! No. So this is Meadfoot Beach, guys. Not fantastic fishing really. It can be after a big storm, but yeah. Unfortunately, it's not the same as we're used to. But look at that, big
look at that, look. First cast fish, baby.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stand there and watch Connor, right? So Connor's going to cast, and I'm just going to basically move out the way when I need to, but I want to get him to show what he's doing. I had to move then. Okay guys, so what I've noticed straight away, really, everything's with the right, okay, nothing with the left. He's slowed everything down, which is a good thing, and the scoop's coming there, but because of his arm positioning, and that arm's like that, and basically it's losing compression in the rod. So what I'm going to try and do with Connor today, the main focus is this scoop. So what I'm going to do after this series, and maybe do it over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a casting series, okay, basically, and not tournament casting series before I go upsetting anybody. It's all basically a casting series what will help you guys what are struggling with your distance of casting get on a few fish, okay. So at the end of the day, as I said before, I'm not a tournament caster, and I'll repeat it again, I'm not a tournament caster. Even though I've been down the field and hit 250 yards, I don't class myself up there with like some of the greatest casters. I mean, really, you need to be up there hitting 280 plus. I in my opinion, to be in that category. I mean, it's you're just making up numbers, unfortunately, if you're not, in my opinion. But you know what I mean, everybody's gonna have their own opinion for it. But a lot of like anglers and stuff like that, they'll pick up their own style of casting and go down there and hit 220 yards straight away. Some people go down there at 180 yards straight away. But what I can see with Connor, I was just saying a minute ago, if you come into the camera a minute, so everything at the moment is to do with the right hand. So that right hand's going out, that's making the lead go out, and then basically as it's coming back, you're doing the scoop, but your arm's there, you're basically pulling the lead back, which is like basically drifting the lead. So what you need to do, drifting the arm, sorry, you want to stop doing that. It's basically called chasing the lead. When your arm comes back, that arm's going to stay still. So what I'm going to do with the camera, I'm going to get you on the camera, I'm going to show you what I'm doing so you can pick it up. But the good thing about it is you'll be able to watch this video yourself, and you can pick up what I'm saying with the scoop, basically. But that arm there, I want to try and see locked into position so it stays there like that. I want to see your body facing that way in order to do with a turn. So if that arm stay there like that, and that's all with that, as that comes around, that arm's locked, right? All that arm should do really is turn your wrist into the casting position, and then as you come round, you've got all that pressure coming around like from the front, and then you're basically casting and finishing there. What I liked about it, what you've done with the casting in a few of your videos, which I'll go through in a minute, guys, is when I was watching some of the videos he was doing online, see the first one coming up through, he's like basically getting this used to casting, and then as you see through these videos what I'm talking about now, he starts to bring the lead in here and shoot up. That's where he wants to finish, which is good. So you are starting to get
I'm just missing like the middle bit.
Yeah, that arm is a big one, because what that arm will do is chase the lead. So as you're chasing the lead, you're losing all compression. If you lock that arm solid, that's bending point. That's what's bending the rod. So what we'll do, I'm going to go and show you quickly what you want thing, and then we'll get you casting again. The other thing I've got to think at the moment, your drop's quite long. With like tournament casting, I would suggest a very long drop. Because you're fishing, what I would normally do is up to the first eye, all right? That's how I was always taught to cast at the beginning. Adam will start showing you a longer drop, but the trouble is, the longer drop, the more compression you'll get in the rod, okay? And especially with the layback cast, the longer drop it is, the easier it is to get the layback cast, because you've got all that dropping, okay, rather than only a little bit dropping. So all I want to try and get you doing is getting you in position, okay? So we'll let this car come past quickly. It's not an ideal place to be doing this today, guys, at the end of the day, but at the same time, it's one of the only places we're going to get a chance to do it. So at the end of the day, we don't want people all around us, you know what I mean? The only thing we've got to concentrate here really is cars going past, and obviously they're safe when they're gone. There's no people like that, really, the old dog walker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand first. So if you look down on the floor at me a minute, so I've got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock on base. If you come forward now, watch my hands, right? So basically what I'm doing, I'm doing it with this hand. That arm's staying like that. See that?
Yeah.
Start again. So that hand lock to the side, real out position like that.
There's a car coming.
It's going to be hard, this is. Probably going to take a little while, but at the end of the day, it's got to be right, isn't it? So, start again, okay? So we have a pit position with your arm. So this is focus points thing. So the first one, pit position with arm, right? Bring your lead down to your hand, Right, so maybe doing it on your hand this time. That's what I'm going to get you doing. Put it on your hand. Right, so up, finger there like that. Put your lead on your hand. You know it's there every time then. Okay, so first points, foot position, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Look out to where your target are, where you want to cast. Bring the lead in so it don't hit no cars. Second, set up, arm position into your pit of your arm and then into your hand. Next step, lead position. Put your lead on your hand, okay? So what I'm going to do now is basically do that one again. Outswing, in swing, turn, okay? That's going to the outside. If you hear that lead hit the floor then, that is basically the lead going outside the tip. So first step, before you do anything else, foot position, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, bend your legs, get yourself in. Next step, hit your arm, lead on your hand, okay? Now you know you're set up ready for your casting. A lot of people are going to be watching this, tournament casters and that, and saying, oh, I don't do that, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that all right. At the end of the day, I'm doing an angling, a basic pendulum angling cast to get a few anglers an extra distance. So if anyone's got an issue with that, I'm going to turn my hands around. But yeah, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, that's what it's about, guys. All we're trying to do is help a few people, and unfortunately you always get certain individuals on the internet what seem to have lots to say but don't do a lot to help any anglers out. At the end of the day, if people want to criticise what we do at Sea Angling Adventures, the best thing to do is get out there and do something yourself to help a few anglers, because the message, it does well in a little bit, because at the end of the day you get loads of positive feedback and loads of people saying, yeah, that's what we're here to do, is get this to teach people. And you get certain individuals, and half the time they're not good anglers, and it's just not nice. I don't know what's wrong with the world when it comes to it, really. But just trying to jumble on some lyrics while I'm waiting to cast. But well, here we go again then. So foot position, arm. So what I'm going to do, that arm like that, yeah? Okay? Yeah. And then over that arm, out, let it drop, turn. Yeah? Do it one more time. Out. It's easier on sand, and it's going to be easier without the trees in. But what I want to try and get you to do today, the main thing, as I said to Connor a minute ago, is get him scooping. So with the arm there like that, out. He was doing it all like that, yeah? So it's all right hand, no arm. Let this car go past. It's all that arm there. So it's pump, what's sending the lead out, pump back, which is sending the end of the lead out, turning like that. So we'll do it again in slow motion. So it's that, in position, and then it's just okay. We've got one bite to go through. I do apologise, guys, there's not a lot we can do. Right, but while we're waiting, I'm not going to cast this again. It's the last thing. Feet placement, pitting reel, hand, lead on hand, right? Turn your body to where you want to face. I'm not going to be able to turn around for the minute because we've got loads and loads of cars. Loads of cars. I have to talk about someone else while we're here, but now the weather's nice. Do you know what? I miss Tenerife so much. I do. We come back to miserable England, and I'll tell you what, it's so depressing. It really is. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with England at the minute. It's just full of rain, full of miserable people, or 5% miserable people, 95% lovely people, and it just yeah, it just needs some sunshine. It needs a proper summer. It needs us getting into all those summer species, big smooth hounds, beer drinking in the evening, and live entertainment and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's what we need, isn't it?
He sure is. He sure is, boy. And less cars. Less cars.
Less cars. Less people. Saturday daytime.
We need the winter back. That's what we need.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Right, so last time. Oh. It's a nightmare.
Do you reckon we should just go?
Yeah, I don't know. The trouble is, you can't cast from that little pit. You need to be in the road anyway because you're lead. But we've got one more walker. We've got loads of walkers to come past. But just all we're trying to do today is get Connor with that scoop. Not even going to cast this as a lesson, I don't think. It's hello, mate. You right? How you doing?
Oh, I'm watching your pendulum.
Oh yeah.
Have a chat with you in a
Yeah. Carry on, mate.
Down there.
All right, yeah. Pop down, mate. Pop down. All right, yeah. No worries. Someone else wants a lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to give it out the freebies.
Right, so here we go. Right, so basically arm on the thing, foot position. Right, so lead out with that arm, turn. It's a bit fast, but I'm just trying to get Connor to see my hands. It's all with that left. See that, Connor?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Away from the reel. I want you to do that. So we'll just look at him. So you do it on the pavement a minute here. So it's a foot position. And how have you been standing?
This way.
Yeah, so because you're casting there like that and turning in, there's a tournament cast. Try not to get out of that. If you're on a rocks, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the main focus is keeping your leg. It's a base of everything. The cast. So you got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That leg go back a little bit. Yeah, that one there, and then bring that one in forward. Like that. So that one's facing 12 o'clock. That one's facing 3 o'clock. It's looked like a clock here, guys. If I come around the back of him, I've got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. See that? And what that's doing is basically, watch that tip of that car, is getting himself in a base position. Because what he can do there then, at the end of the day, what he can do is no matter he's on the rocks, whether he's on double yellow lines, whether he's on beach, wherever he is, he can cast like that. And the main thing is his feet are always, if he gets into a habit where he's put a step in, you can't always do that step. So here we go. Foot position, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Bend those hips, baby. Yes, it. That's nice, nice. Right, keep that hand round. So I want to see that hand turn like that. Right, do all that position there. I want to see that leg go out that way. Right, all with that hand. Nope. Nope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the one down. I'm just going to show him quickly. Okay, so if I hold you here now. Watch this.
God, this feels like we're on a date. Oh, so you swing it out.
Yeah, watch this car, watch this car.
Yeah, yeah, so I got it.
You're doing that, the more you pump with that arm, so that arm's held there, the more you go like that and pull up and then pump, right, the more that lead will go out.
Right.
We're back in Tenerife.
That's right.
Right, guys, right, it's going to be hard today. As I said, it's not about casting, and hopefully you lot are picking something up, because some of you will watch the first part of the episode with the casting bits and pieces, and a lot of people will pick up what he's doing here. The first part is base. Make sure you're planted, everything's based for the casting, so it doesn't make no difference what way you're pendulum casting and what way you're being taught the pendulum cast. Pump down and scoop. Yeah, there, see that there? Right, that arm's there then, right?
Yeah.
That arm to there. So that basically what you're doing is you're going out, there. Right, when that rod tip, they'll wait for that lead to go around to that point there, and then you're picking that up. That tip bends. He's done it. What? Don't cast it though. Nope. Right, so what do you do? Foot position. On double yellow lines, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Here we go. Bend those legs, baby. Whee, here we go. Right, turn that reel round so it's facing me. That's it. And now all with that left hand. See that there? See that what you just done then?
Yeah.
Bring your lead in because there's a car coming. Right? You just done that then perfectly, but it's lazy. Because when you're going like that, it's like you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Just imagine like you're a very big, strong lad. You know what I mean? You could get that lead pumping with practice. And what I would suggest you do when you get down to the beat or get down to the field or whatever you're doing, spend 10 minutes just getting thing. Because once you've done that beginning part of that scoop and you've got that bit, you're pumping that rod, right? Nah. Right, once you get that bit there, right, you can go on to the next step. The next step is keeping that tension in the line. So when that lead goes up, it's complete tension all the way up to the top, right?
Yeah.
And as that lead, as you pump that lead up to where it's supposed to be, you want to let it just go, so it goes, the lead goes all the way up there like that, it stops. As it gets to that point there, you let it drop slightly. As you let that rod drop, then you add the scoop and you come in with a scoop. Yeah?
Right.
And then there's so many different steps. And I had to learn it all individually. It didn't all come at the thing. At the end of the day, it's that bit there. If you can keep that lead tension so it goes into a V, so like that there and like that there, and then you pull it in. Let it drop slightly because that's your lead speed. As that lead starts to drop, that will create lead speed.
Right. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, slight bend in the knees. Armpit. Real front, forwards, face forwards.
Yeah,
that's
go on. Nope. Chasing that arm, innit? Watch that lead.
I heard the car come.
Watch that, yeah.
That's alright, don't worry about the lead. I control the lead.
Go on then.
Right, 12, 3, armpit, bend,
Pump it up.
forward.
No, pump it. Let that arm there drop that rod.
Right.
See that there? Don't let that hand there do it. Let that thing, so you're pumping the lead with that hand.
Right.
Keep that
Understand. So when I'm like this, and that arm's up there.
That's still not more. There, pit of the arm. That's where you need to be. Okay. Out. Scoop. No.
Started a class, boy.
Okay, so a lad come past a minute ago. He's gone running up the road to get his fishing rods. He's been watching the channel and watching big OnlyFins channel as well, and he wants to come down and meet us really. But I've told him to go and get his rod. He's never done the pendulum cast before. He's been watching it and stuff, but never don't get it. But he's got a pair of bullets, Andy Muse built bullets. You see a quality built rod here now, but OnlyFins is straight into it today, you know what I mean? So, mate, he's going up there like fast. I think he thinks we're going.
Run, Forrest, run!
But, guys, it's not fantastic here today, and the main thing for it today is Connor's scooping, because he's doing really well with that technique, but if he can get that position in where he's using this arm to do everything and that arm as the pivot, because that's all that is a pivot, guys. You imagine an anchor point there and a pendulum going up there like that. That's all that's doing. But the trouble is, if you stop moving that right arm and chasing that lead, you're losing complete compression in the rod then.
That's all right,
and you don't want to be doing that, because what that will do is that will just decrease your distance straight away. It's all to do with keeping that rod out like that, get into position, letting the lead go round so it goes round to the outside till it gets to that part there. So all that lead's doing is going past you, going to that part there. As it hits that part there, that's when you should be turning. So as what you normally do is, as that comes up, lead out, lead in, so it goes into the scoop position. Let that lead come back around to the outside. As it comes around to the outside, as the lead comes past there, Adam normally goes 1,000, 2,000, and then he'll turn and hit it, because it's really important to let that lead go out. Nope. So I'll keep the lead out a minute. Your setup's a bit different than mine. So what I'm going to do, set that arm up there now. So what I would do is get a bit of tape when you get them.
Yeah.
Put it in there. Put one bit there on your hands, so you know your hands are in that position every time.
Right.
The good thing about it, if you do it this way, right?
Yeah.
And keep this on your hand, that's your setup for fishing all the time.
Every time.
Right? Adam would change this totally. No, I'm being serious. And I want him to, because at the end of the day, what he's going to show you is how to tournament cast.
Yeah.
Right, and that's going to make you have the difference between hitting 150 yards or 100 yards at sea, or 120 yards at sea, to be able to hit a bait 100 to 150 to 180 yards at sea. I don't think I'd hit a bait 200 yards. A single sand deal bait, I reckon I could hit 180 easy. I'll be close there with my reels running with a thing like that. But people are saying they're hitting 200 yards and spawling reels and stuff like that with baits and whole squid.
Even I've done it in the past. I've been like, I hit them like, oh yeah, I hit like between 100 and 120 when I'm casting, and then when you actually get down and you go to a field and measure it,
when you go down the westward, there'll be two flags there for 200 yards. I tell you what, when we went down, I thought I had a Pen Viper Evo. I went down and I said, watch this, 525 like that. I hit it 180 yards all day long. I couldn't hit 200. And I'd even forward to that, and then trying to think, not Mike Benfield gave us some tips, and there was Bowwin, someone from Wales called Bowwin. Can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
And I think it was Glenn or something. It might be picking it up from East Coronation Street, but anyway, really good caster. But he was basically, Gareth Davis originally taught me to cast, really good caster in Wales, and he he's teaching me a little bit of what I'm showing you now with the bait, with the base, which I got from Gareth, because I find if you've got a base for the cast, no matter where, I can cast the pendulum cast for standing on that little rock gap, because my base is already there, and all it is a fish. I'm trying to show a fishing cast. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to teach you the pendulum to a tournament cast. You shouldn't be putting steps in and stuff like that. If I'm on a beach and there's no one around me, I'm especially placing, sometimes I'll go, I'm having this, you know what I mean? And I'll tournament cast, you know what I mean? But because it's there, you know how to do it. But if you learn how to keep the base of it and apply what Adam taught me,
and right, add extra,
you'll be able to pendulum cast anywhere you go. You know what I mean? And I'll do it now. I'll go down like Ray Marks and stuff like that, where everybody else is layback casting, and I'll pendulum cast. cast, I got Webby's Rock, and right, and I tell you, one of the most awkward places to thing. Everybody's layback casting what comes down with me. I'm stood up on this little pinnacle of rock, which I'm like literally like that, and I'm tall, and I'm pendulum casting.
Ideal.
And that's only because of what I've been taught differently with like your base. Because obviously Gareth originally, he taught me 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
There used to be a video called The Introduction to Surf Casting back in, going back years ago now, I think it was the late 90s, early 2000s. No, it was probably 2000s. And it would have been at 2000s. And on that video then, it shows you all different types of it. And, right. and that's where I get it from, because the pendulum cast is an aerial version of off the ground basically.
Yeah.
Everything, all you're doing is setting up everything differently, ready for you to hit it off. That's when you do the off the ground, you lay it back out because you're picking the lead up, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
Ideal.
What we do, we get one more win with Connor, so we can go and practice, and then we'll have a little chat with Matey then.
Got a special guest.
Okay then. So he's got his reel set up. We'll get some tape on that later. Okay, and then we'll get you back off there. So we got 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. There you go. That thing up. Try and, yeah, that's it. Keep that reel like that. That's what I want to see, you know. Do that harder.
Oh, birdie, baby!
You rushed that because there was a car coming.
Yeah, you can't. You got no time, really.
You haven't.
I mean, I've sort of got an idea for the pump thing now. Definitely going to get a load of weed on this bad boy. And there you go. That's how you get rid of it, guys. Bosh.
Boom.
In a bit.
For those who haven't seen it, come on, if you're not on it, give him a subscribe, guys. He's gone from 333 subscribers, gone up to he's put 1,000 on, so you got to give it to him as well. He's a nice lad. And to be honest, I think the cockiness will always come into it because he's a male, but I've been really enjoying the content he's been doing. He's showing people his journey with fishing. He's not trying to be an expert straight away like you see a lot of them doing now. And
did I lose my lead then?
You haven't, have you? Nah, he's got his lead back.
Because I had it off the ground
and he's getting his lead back every cast, so if that's not worth a sub, here, get on, only fins, have some out. All right, we're going to do one more because I want to see him try and get that thing quickly. And if you watch his shock leader, he's got the spider itch on there coming down, and he's basically 4 times round, everything's set up correctly, long leader, and that is definitely for safety, guys. So we'll get him do one more, let these people go past a minute and this car, and then Let's get one out there, boys and girls. All right, here we go. So he's 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He's got the pit in his arm. He's going to put some tape there. He's going to move it out like that now, okay? So we're going to get that. No, yeah, exaggerate it. Now
Wait
scoop.
There, what?
Yes, what you do. Don't move that arm at all. Right. But you had it then. Just poke. I wanted to swear at you then. Here we go.
Then, let's go.
Pump it hard. That's it. Now.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah. Have a couple of practice of that. I'll go see Matey. Okay, guys, this is Grant. Nice to meet you, Grant.
Nice to meet you. Yeah? Nice to meet you.
Fan of the channel?
I'm an absolute fan.
Yeah.
I've been watching the show. I've been watching Sea Angling Ventures.
Yeah.
Along with many other, YouTubers.
Yeah. So you come down and you wanted to know a little bit about pendulum casting.
Pendulum, yeah. I was fishing around the corner and I see you guys penduluming.
Yeah.
Doing the old pendulum cast, and I thought I know what that looks like, so I thought I'd come over and have a chat.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend 10 minutes with you if you want.
Absolutely.
What way do you cast now?
Weight.
What way do you cast now?
Reel at the bottom. I don't know if I do a pendulum, but I clean wax. I swim.
Right, we're going to get him to do a cast quickly. Grant to do a cast.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a look to see what he's what we can help you out a little bit.
I fished all my life, and I definitely know I can improve on casting.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. As I said before, he's got the tools for the job. This is a lovely rod, and I mean a lovely rod. This is a Ziplex bullet, and this is Andy Muse built, as you can see there. That is an absolutely fantastic rod, and I am very, very jealous.
I've even got the reducer as well.
They're lovely, mate. Very tippy, but on the thing without it, but they're lovely, aren't they?
Glass tips as well.
Glass tips, bullets. They're a very special rod. These are. You can't get them anymore, and they are a very nice bit of kit. But as you can see, with the build and stuff. Andy's, to be honest, it's a shame he don't do very much anymore, because he is my favourite rod builder out of all of them, just with the logo and that as well. So yeah, anyway, so we're going to get you set up. You've got lead. What lead you cast on that today?
6. I only got grip lead, unfortunately,
Grip lead
today.
All right, no problem.
Obviously I'm fishing a lot of swell, so obviously I'm struggling to punch out big baits as well, you know.
Have you got a spare bomb lead there? What? Spare 6-ounce lead? Only Fins is doing a bit of charity work. The 6-ounce lead there, Matt. But yeah, I'm going to change the battery on the camera, and we'll jump straight into it. So what we're going to do is going to get Grant to cast a minute in between the cards and the people, just do his basic cast, and then what we can do is we can see, well, there's a reef in front of us here, so we'll move right slightly, just so you can cast out. And then what I'll do, get you to aim towards that rock there. But the whole point to this now, as I said, guys, and as Connor was just saying to him, without having sometimes someone to say, look, what you're doing wrong, it's very, very hard. And to be honest, for those of you that know, right, it's help a few people, locals, you know what I mean? That's what fishing's about. I mean, unfortunately, none of my kids was ever into fishing, so I never could really like pass it on. But this is the sort of thing I've just started doing with Connor now, and I will do it next year. I'll pick someone else next year and do 10 sessions as well, because at the end of the day, I said what fishing's about is about passing things on and learning and stuff like that. Hopefully, Connor can go into his club then and do exactly the same and sort of like show a few of them how it's done. Can you, Connor? You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about. It's about passing it down. But yeah, game on.
Yeah.
Right, so here we have. So Grant's going to do his own cast a minute.
Ready?
Do you know what? I'm not being funny, mate. It's flying out. That's a different cast altogether. What's wrong with that?
I don't know, mate. I've fished all my life. I'll be serious, honestly.
I've never seen anyone do it like that.
I'll be serious. I fished all my life, and
it's not, the spool wasn't full, but
no, but
it's got half spool on it.
There's still plenty of play.
No, what I mean is normally you like fill the line up, like right up to the top of the spool. Do that again a minute. Absolutely. Bring that in and we'll get you doing that again. There's nothing wrong with that.
My friend's got the Dreamcast Special, and he's got that as well. Like.
I'm not being funny. If you're casting like that and you're getting a few fish, there's no need to learn to cast.
Yeah,
you can learn to cast if you want. I can show you a few pointers, but you're going to learn something a bit totally different than you've just done there. But to be honest, I'd be happy with that cast.
Would you?
It went out.
I don't know,
fair
mate.
distance, mate.
I've never, like I say, you can watch it on YouTube. And you'll pick up a few tips and pointers.
It went left and right and straight over. You were casting off the tip, so everything was off the tip of the glass rod. What I would suggest is slowing it down a little slightly, because it's for the glass, and let it come round more. But the trouble is, you're doing everything up and around like that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Where instead of going out to the side. But we'll have a look. Because of the glass tip, what you find, you've got to slow things down a little bit.
And then would you build the cast up towards the end?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's all about letting that lead go around the outside. But to be honest, you went that quick. That cast was that quick. Then I didn't really get to pick it up. When I get home, I can have a look, and I can obviously do a bit of over talking on the camera. But you, I'm not being funny. I went out the other way. Did you watch that? He's busy talking.
But no, I've always wanted to pendulum properly. You know.
Well, it's good enough cast to get the fish. Oh, you went over 100 yards then, I know. I can tell just by the way you're reeling in. It's not full spool, but that was a nice cast. See, I normally fill mine up to the top of the black line.
I lost a lot of oak snows on the smooth round. Yeah.
Do you have any smooth round down there?
Yeah. I had a 6.5 and
nice.
a 5.
Yeah, crab.
Peeler crab,
yeah, peeler crab.
And I lost one about 6 foot in length.
Did you?
Off the
get on
down there, right?
Well, off over here.
Yeah, that was last year.
Was it?
My mate picked it up. It's a bit through 35-pound hook length.
Did it?
So, yeah. Obviously, that's a bit light for what I was doing.
Yeah, you want 80 down there, really.
So now I've upped my game and I'm catching fish. So.
Get on. Right, let's get you doing it again then.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Exactly the same. I'm going to stand this side now.
Right, ready?
Go for it quickly. Very short drop. Do you know what? It's flying. Yeah. Nice cast.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'll go through some pendulum casts with you. But that cast there, will catch you fish.
Yeah,
you catch you at the distance where you're hitting them enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not far off spooling that there.
Just needs more line, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make my mission to make you spool that reel there quickly. Right, we're gonna have to get him to spool that reel.
I want to go get a tea and coffee from that.
Okay guys, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to have a go with Grant to basically get him. He's had 2 casts and he's not that far off. I would say he's probably 35 yards off spooling the whole reel. So what we'll try and do is get him spinning the whole reel. Now what I noticed with the cast, I would, at the end of the day, without even learning the cast, he's hitting a bait, I would say an easy 100 yards, and or he's hitting a lead at 100 yards. I'm not sure what he's hitting with a bait on, but at the same time then he's catching fish, and that's exactly as we went through earlier on with Connor. It makes a big difference, there's that extra distance sometimes, because sometimes that's where the fish are holding up, and in that rougher ground or mixed ground, I mean, it can always work. Having the benefits of being able to cast extra is just an advanced skill which is always nice to have. I mean, if we're here sitting here in the hot tide lines 150 yards out and I'm not catching nothing in, I want to be able to hit a bait 150 yards out to get me where I want to be, you know what I mean? And it's horses for courses at the end of the day. Some of the people would think, oh, you don't need to cast that. I've found out of experience that sometimes hitting those tide lines, especially on the Bristol Channel for the smooth out and stuff like that, can make all the difference. But anyway, we're going to go through now. I'm just going to have to spend a quick 10 minutes with Grant to get him doing something, and we might maybe meet down here, we'll get his number, whatever, and come down with Connor later on in the week and see how he's getting on as well. But as I said, guys, that's what fishing's about. If you've got your friends, or you know people, and you're in groups now and people on there, or even if you know or you don't know, put a comment on one of the Facebook groups and say I'm local, anybody fancy helping me out with a pendulum cast, because I guarantee there will be people out there what will be willing to help. They're not low life like-minded just people. There's a lot of people like that down on Facebook and stuff, where they just don't want to help no one, but they'll put silly comments and stuff. At the end of the day, if you don't like to do something and you don't think things are getting done the way you like them, get out there and do something about it and help a few people at the same time, because that's what fishing's about. All right, so the first thing I'm going to teach you is, I noticed you were standing off a tip, right?
Yeah.
So at the moment, because of this is a glass tip, everything's coming off this section of the rod. So this is the first thing I'll teach you, right? So basically, watch this. Right, you come over here and hold that rod, right? If I do this with a tip now, it's like you got a fish on, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So if I come and stand outside here now, I'll do this again quickly. I'll put loads of pressure onto it. That, right? I won't break it because it's glass tip, but I could easily break that tip by doing that.
Well, yeah,
right? If I come and stand here now and do that, I can pull you towards me. Right?
Yeah.
So the science behind that cast, it shows you straight away. If you're hitting that lead when it's outside there, that's going to get into the midsection of the rod. Okay, you're casting outside the tip. So basically, when we'll let this lady go past a minute. Afternoon. Right, so basically, if the way you're coming around at a minute, because you're coming around so fast and coming around, everything's off that glass tip. Yeah. If you'd done that with a real light rod, you probably snap the tip with that cast, because you're basically casting off that much. And because the bullet is known for its power, at the end of this, it's a beast of a rod, and it's got probably one of the nicest glass tips on it. They do. It's a lovely glass tip, the bullet, isn't it? Yeah. That's where you get in the distance, because it's basically doing everything for you, like a catapult. Yeah, of course, right. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you to get into this midsection of the rod. Yeah. But it's going to be totally different than you've done. So the first thing I want you to do, if I give you that rod, right, is get this reel. So you're casting reel down, yeah? Yeah. Right, so get your reel into there, and then get it into the pit of your arm, and then bring your lead down on your hand. Okay, like so. Yeah. So if you set that up, I'll hold the lead. You put that in your pit of your arm, where you want it, into your pit, right? You've got exactly the same setup as me. You're taller than me, so it's amazing. I must have go gadget arms. But right, so that's your setup. So the next step, how do you normally cast? If you hold that lead in your hand a minute, because there'll be cars and that come past, how do you normally stand? Position where you normally stand. Right. So if you look at his foot positioning now, everything's that way, okay? So when he's coming backwards, watch that tip a minute, as he's coming back and forwards, he's basically turning the whole of his body at one time, instead of like basically turning around and creating momentum within the cast. So what we're going to do quickly, after these young ladies go past, and another one, is we'll get him basically doing the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock position, as I've gone through with Connor earlier on, and then we'll get that lead moving out. All right, so if you come to here, imagine standing on double yellows, what I want you to do is basically put your foot in 3 o'clock position, like that, and put your right foot in 12 o'clock position. Come around a bit more. Right, so keep that foot where it is. Yeah, keep that foot there, and then bring this one around. So put that one there.
Okay.
Right, bend your knees, right? Get your foot self like that. So what I want you to do is make sure you're feeling your body's there, right? So that's where you want to be aiming and finishing.
Okay.
So keep your body in that position now, right? And watch this car, just stay like that a minute. Everything's with your hips, right? So as you come round, you're turning your hips and everything into the cast. The main thing, that's the base, that doesn't move. So what I want you to do is this. If you come around to that side, show me, Connor can come in front of me here like this now, right? I want you to basically hold the arm like that, don't move this arm, and then basically turn that out like that. See that?
Yeah, yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
Have you tried that before?
We haven't, no.
You've watched a video?
I've watched videos, but it's like...
Yeah, that video was filmed just over the other side where you're fishing. So remember, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock again. Remember that lead out? That thing over a bit more, like that. Yeah, face your body forward. Don't cast yet, there's a car coming.
I won't cast it, I'll just do what you've done.
Sorry.
What you've done.
2 cars coming. Said, guys, this is not the place really, but unfortunately due to public, it's just hard to find anywhere around here. All the fields is Saturday, you're footballing, and like the beaches are full. So here we go. Go on in, Grant. Keep that arm straight and all of that thing. Try it one more time quickly. No, whoa. You're doing your cast straight away, isn't you, though?
That's too set in my way.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be the hardest thing, because what I found with Connor's cast was the same cast, and he had never been taught to cast anymore, and he was only casting 30 yards, so it wasn't hard for him to get any bad habits. Where you've got that in your position now, you need to forget that completely, because what I'm going to do with you now is this, right? So if I come and stand in here with you now, so hold this part, right? So it's going that. Yes, you're going up too high there.
Yeah.
That's like up to the moon.
Yeah.
So you get the feel with that?
Okay, so yeah.
Totally different feel altogether.
Totally.
Yeah. He was trying to go up to see Neil Armstrong then.
That's crazy. All right, yeah.
It's a car coming in a minute, we'll let the car go past. But it's that momentum.
Different.
You're flipping the lead up and around.
Yeah.
Right? And it's working for you, you're getting away with it, right? I wouldn't change up for your fishing for the minute, but I would work on this like Connor's doing on the field.
Yeah.
Because
we've been using glass tips as well. I don't want to run a risk of...
Well, no, if you can, what I will say to you is this, because you're using a gas tip, you do this swing, but you need to wait longer. So instead of whipping around really quick, what you get with a carbon tip, with that glass tip, just let the lead come round. Because as it comes round, you'll start getting into that part of the rod. And that's what I said to you before, I could literally pull you off your feet by hitting it there. If you hit that lead when it goes to that side there and you turn into it, that will bend.
Wow.
This rod's got some fantastic distances to its name. This was a big hit all over the England when they come out. Abroad, I mean, people abroad went and bought those rods. They were phenomenal rods.
Yeah.
Lovely rain rods. Right, let's get this untangled. But if you ever want to get rid of those rods, you just remember Sea Angling Adventures, because I'll have some cash waiting for you.
I'd had a Tiplex Primer full tournament in Plum.
Promo full tournament, yeah, Adam.
I had one of them. They're
nice.
Beefy,
yeah. Those were lovely for raying, and lovely glass tip.
I only bought
loads of power. Did you?
Yeah, because I fished the Torbay Festival.
Yeah.
And I was laying down reeling a conger reel on a Coniflex. I thought, no, that's no more of that.
No.
So I've done a full upgrade, like. So yeah.
I reckon she's a fishing fan, you know. Keeps walking up and down and singing. All right, we'll have to let these people there's got people left and right of us now, loads of dog walkers, and it's like people just walking up and just, I think we've created a bit of a phase down here because everybody wants to sit and watch sea angling, which is good, but it's doing a bit for the sport, isn't it? Keeping the locals happy and that. Sitting down with an ice cream now watching us. But a few pretty faces, can't really blame them, can you? Look at Connor there behind the camera now. Whee!
I've got a wife.
That's But I'll tell you what. So you fished a lot around this neck of the woods, have you?
I fish here every day because I live and work in the hotel.
So what do you normally use for bait around here?
Peeler crab, live prawn.
Well,
Yeah.
So what species do you normally get?
Bass, wrasse.
Yeah.
I've had bull up to £8 so far.
Have you?
I've only lived here 2 years.
Any big fat bass?
Bass, sort of £3.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Smooth round up to.
I reckon a double figure I lost on over
He's
there.
had a few double-figured hounds here as well then.
Yeah.
So where are you from originally?
Kent.
Kent?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of my fishing around Hive, Dungeness,
Oh yeah.
Dover,
Yeah.
all up the Medway,
Oh right, nice. Nice.
flounder and that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then I lived Cornwall 10 years, done a lot around Newquay,
Did you?
St Austell. Really good bass marks in Newquay.
Yeah, there is bass. Nick does a lot down in Newquay.
I always find you want to hold the rod, turn no lights, hold the rod. Stand in the surf.
Yeah.
Pitch black.
Yeah, the way to do it. Yeah, some nice marks down in Cornwall. But I reckon we've got to wait for one more car. And there's another car coming. It's a nightmare, guys. I do apologise, but we'll try and make the best of it all because it's all you can do at the end of the day. It's got to be safe. But yeah, we won't talk for ages and talk about loads of different things. We'll try and stop and just wait in between. But yeah, I think we're going to get one. Come on, let's get one out.
Yeah.
So here we go. So foot position, placement. We'll have to be quick here now.
Right round the back.
Well, car coming. Go a little bit right a minute.
Yeah.
Go a little bit that way, just so the lead coming around. Right, go on then.
All right.
Here we go. There we go. Right, so here we go.
And I'm hitting
So
this,
lead,
yeah?
you can hit. You try and no, don't hit it. Just try and get what I said first.
Okay. So there.
Lock your reel on a minute. So all that arm, pump it. No, don't get the right thing here. Try and bring it out here. Do it out there like that, and then keep that arm up like that, and then pump that rod down. Nearly. That lead's, yeah, you're doing that fit. You need to let it go out and in. I'll show you one more time a minute.
Yeah, that's hard. I'm so set in my ways.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest thing here with Grant today. It's going to be the hardest thing is because he needs to. The good thing about it, Connor can watch this from the outside as well, looking in to see what I'm doing with the rod again. But it's really important that that lead is on your hand, all right, or the top, or wherever you want to set it. Just make sure that wherever you're going to use it, it's better to have a slightly longer drop, but I wouldn't go too long. Okay. So then, what you want to do is feet positioning, turn. If you come and stand there a minute, Grant, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. This hand, I'm just going to do this with my hand out here, right? So I'm going to go out. See that? Yeah. I haven't moved that arm once. I'll do it again for the camera so the camera can look in here now. That hand's still, right? So I'm just going to pump this now. Look. Out, let it drop, turn in. That's all you're doing. Where you're spinning it up and around like that. I don't know what, I've never seen anybody cast like that. Never. You've created that yourself, have you?
Yeah, I guess so. Like just from
it works.
It works.
Yeah, and it goes out there, doesn't it? But what I want to see you doing is basically going out. So you're pointing. So basically out, point, and then like that. So boom, and then scoop, and then basically turning around, letting that leg around come somewhere, come around, and then hit up to the horizon. Well, no, you're not doing that again.
Doing it again.
All right. Remember that lead out, and then scoop. Out, then scoop, push down. No.
Oh, no. Slow that right down.
Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely a knack to it, isn't there?
Okay, guys. Well, it's I'm not going to cast that rod and line and the reels and stuff because specifically I don't know what knots and stuff are done on it and that, and what I wouldn't want to see is the lead go off to the right in the car and stuff. So all I'm doing is basically doing a bit of tutoring down here today. So I think Grant's problem is going to be he's so used to casting with that up, he's going to struggle getting that position with the lead straight away, which he's going to have to work on. So I'm going to give him my number in a minute and give us a message or whatever and let him know how he's getting on with it. And Connor, we're going to go through a few more casts with Connor. I'll do one more with Grant and then we'll go over to Connor then. And then yeah, we've got a few rigs to go through. So we'll go on to the rigs and then yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so let's get on to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do the initial steps. So for anybody who hasn't cast before, obviously if you're going down the field and you want to like practice and stuff like that, this is sort of steps you want to be doing. So first off, 12 o'clock, next foot 3 o'clock, shoulder widths apart, get yourself nice and relaxed, yeah? And then make sure you're facing where your target is right in front of you, your belly forward, right? Face your belly button at your target. And then basically what I want you to do is put your rod in your pit of your hand, same as you now, Grant, and then drop that lead down to where it is, right? So what I would do is put a bit of white tape there and there, so you know that's your hand position. Okay? So when you got that now, so everything now, if I move a bit aside a bit, it's to do with this arm. Nothing to do with that, it's a pivot, that just stays there, right? So it's all that arm. So if I do this properly now, I'll go out, in, and turn, see that? So you're pointing, so you basically with this hand and then you're pointing at the lead. So what you want to do is point at the lead. So basically out, drop, and then you would turn. I went to stand and do a turn into the cast then, but that is basically it. What we need to do with you, Grant, is get you out of doing that high swing. Yeah. Right, so if you want to come here and have a go, get yourself in position, your lead should be in the right place. You're the same as me there when you're... Okay, so you set yourself up. That's it, mate. What I want to see is you doing that hand, is bringing that arm down and out into that position there, and dropping that arm slightly, not bending like that, into that thing, into there, yeah? Yeah. And then coming around with it. Okay. You looked at the air then a little bit, guys. It was hard to do that. Go on in. Out. So that's it there. And you need to drop that lead. Don't do that bit there. So you're trying to add that onto it. Let it come out and let it come round naturally.
I'm worried about. I think I'm worried about.
Yeah, don't let that lead go around. Watch a minute. Get that lead over here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't let that lead go up because you're trying to bring that lead around and get that into position. Yeah. So I can feel that on your shock leader there now.
Abrasion, yeah.
Yeah. You don't want that.
No, I won't be casting.
See that? So we're not going to cast that because that's got abrasion on there. That lead, go with the power coming round, come right off. So all we're going to do is basically doing the technique. So if you go again, see if you can get you one last time. Right, car coming. You get what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah. I've got to let the swing do the work, whereas I'm pulling it.
I'll do it one more time. If you hold that watching me a minute, better see through there. One more time, right, guys? So if I show you like this, right? Yeah. So now, lead on my hand, foot placement. So I'm dropping out, turn, dropping my tip there. See that tip there? When that lit tip goes there, I'm waiting for that lead to come around, and then I'm in position to cast. I can come up like that, straight into it. So go see if you can just get you to do that today, mate. Yeah, if we can get you doing that, you can practice a little bit, and then you can send me a few videos, and we go from there. Go on then, big Grant. Don't cast it, just get yourself going around. Get that lead drop a little bit. There's a couple cars coming still. We got to wait. So out. Get yourself down more. You're trying to do that high swing. That hand needs to come out and the rod needs to come there. Watch out, you road a minute. Okay, Grant, so obviously you've probably not picked a lot up of that.
No, it's not a lot, but to be fair, to be able to see someone
cast it,
do it in, with your own eyes and see the technique behind it, it's...
The hardest thing you'll find with that is, and I wouldn't try doing it when you're fishing. I would practice one night a week in a field or down the beach, just without baiting nothing with a lead. Yeah. And fill that reel up with line, is because you'll spool that with that reel you just done there like that now. Yeah. If you get into the butt section of that rod, you'll spool that reel with that there now straight away, just because everything's off the tip with that. You won't find you'll get any more distance because the whole of the tip's just compressed into its max to throw it. Where if you start getting to the midsection, you'll get all that midsection coming through with that as well, and it'll just that's the way to do it. With
that way of casting, like on a strong wind like today, with your way of casting, can I punch that lead?
No, I would quite happily hit a squid bait 120
because that's what I'm struggling with. Where I've got I can feel I'm not compressing the rod. You can feel it, and it's the tip doing the work.
Whole squid baits, I would say probably 140, maybe on the right day, maybe 150. You're like, I don't know, but you start like by my style of casting, especially what I find, and I see difference with others, is when I've got big baits on. So when I've got baits like mackerel, like tote baits and stuff like that. I mean, when we were up over the Isle of Wight, I'm hitting a tote bait 120 yards. You know what I mean? I'm hitting a big bait with a 6-ounce lead.
That's what I want.
And I'm able, and what I normally tend to do, instead of the arc coming up and that, I normally bring the arc in and around. And what I found is by loading it and like that correctly and bringing it up as well, it's one of the benefits of being able to do, like, for doing that cast. I've sort of like adjusted what Adam's taught me into what other people taught me, because Adam's foot placement's a lot different than mine as well. If you watch that video, the guy who I've done that video with is a fantastic caster. He's like cast like nearly 320 yards. I mean, like ridiculous. And like you watch the cast, and especially when he's tournament casting, it's amazing to see it's down to precise. He knows where that lead is all the time, you know what I mean? And the technology and the guys that do that, it's fascinating. I love watching it.
That's what I get.
It's not. I'm not there to put a lead a long way and win awards. I'm there to put a lead a long way and bring monster fish back to shore. That's what I do.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
The fishing round here, especially, like I'm noticing I'm putting on bigger baits.
Yeah.
To get away from
this neck of the woods here now, you got really for prime. You got a chance of big bass after storms. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this is what this would be probably known for. You know what I mean? I can imagine you get a lot of big bass here. Yeah. If you're hitting double-figured smooth hounds and stuff like that, you know what I mean? That's good fish for around this part. Yeah. You know what I mean? But conger eels would be my main one. You like, especially like Hopes, those areas and stuff like that. Yeah, and natural arch as well. You get some monster congers, and you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily somewhere I would fish now, just because of the size of, like, I'm after big stuff all the time. Which, like, to be honest, after speaking to after Connor, doing this sort of fishing what he does now, and just like seeing what he's doing, it takes me back to when I was younger, because I used to fish all these sort of places like 25 years ago. Like Ness Beach, he was down there the other night, he had a 5-pound smooth hound, do you know what I mean? Nice, I remember going down to Ness Beach and I caught my first ever smooth hound down that beach, and it was about that big. And I'll tell you what, we were there for weeks and just catching all these smooth hound. We used to love it. And I think I'm here to teach him, but the one thing he's taught me is to bring it back to the joy and love of fishing. Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes we run away with the fact of like all about catching big fish and like casting far and stuff like that, and it's not about that all the time. It's about being out there, put a rod in the water, and hopefully trying to catch a fish. And sometimes it's not even about catching fish. It's the mental health sort of side of it, of just everything else goes away and all you're focusing on is that. And you get to meet loads of nice people while you're doing it. Well, sometimes.
It's like fishing on light gear, you know. Like, again, like bringing fun back to fishing. You know, scratching on light gear, I don't think you can beat it.
No, you can't. The trouble is with me, I can see the fun side of that, because it does. At the end of the day, as long as you've got the right setup, the sport of it. It don't matter what you're catching. You could be using LRF setups and catching 4 or 5 pound smooth hound. It'd be feeling like you're catching monsters. You know what I mean? It'd be going mental, wouldn't it? But when you're catching, for me now, everything's like. To be honest, I've gone away from the club sort of fishing side of it a little bit now, which is good. But everything, if I go fishing, I always want to catch something big. And I was speaking to my mate about it the other day, and he's just gone back over to river fishing now. He's got a bit older in that, and he used to do a lot of pond fishing and stuff like that when up in Exeter years ago. And he hasn't got the time with his family and work and stuff. He ain't got the family time to go out like sea fishing and that all the time, doing all the like because of the tides and stuff. Where I spent about 12 months away from it, and I'll tell you what, I missed it. And I saw, like, now I just pick my tides, I pick when I want to go. The trouble is, and I'll find, I'm not catching this, like when I was club fishing, I was catching like constantly, because I'm out if you're out 5 nights a week, 2 of those trips are going to be a good trip, so at least one of those trips, and sometimes you'll get 3 trips would be good. If the fishing's there and you know it's fishing, you've got some good fishing in front of you. But unfortunately, when you're only doing 1 night a week or 1 weekend, because you've got work and stuff like that, the chances of you going out and catching the same fish as you used to is not going to be there. And that's what I say to everyone. At the end of the day, you're not, with a lot of the marks now around, like Seatown's just fishing again now. It's all over the internet. Everybody knows about it and everybody wants to be there. Seatown to me is a venue. Have you fished Seatown before?
No, I haven't. No,
so it's up near Dorset. It used to be a lovely beach back in its day, because you never used to get, a few of the locals knew about it, and then you'd get up there and it would be small numbers. Now you get up there and it's like going to a rave. You know, I mean, you've got anglers going, especially night time, you've got anglers wall to wall all the way up there trying to catch the same fish.
Yeah.
To me, it's not a venue where I want to be.
Trying to get away
Yeah,
from
because
that.
I'm not saying you've got a chance of catching like a £10 smalleye, do you know what I mean? But there's other venues where I know where I could go and catch a £10 smalleye, and I've not got to be fighting about 20 or 30 lines in the way to catch it, because at the end of the day, it's potluck fishing.
Yeah.
Whoever catches that fish, there's that many lines in the water. It's not down to skill or you know, you know what I mean, it's down to the Pacific thing. There's loads of baits there. I mean, it's just your chance of catching one, isn't it? Yeah. And that's the way I find it. That's
more wild. You like the ground more wild.
Yeah, there's like Connor's been fishing. Have you fished the Bristol Channel a lot?
Oh, I haven't at all.
Nah,
So that's on the cards for the cod.
Yeah, come a bit closer. They can't see you. Well, basically, the Bristol Channel. So Connor's been fishing like Hope Snows. He's been Long Quarry. Done a couple of like small beaches and stuff like that. But he was literally casting to the end of the rocks. He's casting out there now, and I took him to Bring Down, which Bring Down's a good mark to start off with. You get a lot of rays and different things like that. He went back up there. He's had rays and congers and stuff like that. Now he's with his casting. Now he went to Nest Beach the other night, and I think people. He said to me there was people that fished it last week and not caught a thing. He went down there and caught a few fish out last night, and I think it's obviously the distance helped him, like for what he's casting and baits and stuff like that as well. So he's doing well, like, so that's what fishing's about, really.
I find a lot, especially here, like the mark just over there, you know, those smooth rounds, you've really got to bung that bait out, because there's a sand bar right out there, and you've got to hit that bait.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take these boys' numbers, and what we'll do one night in a week. I've got some crab on the way to me, so what I'll do is probably come down with these lads, and we'll do a session down on there, because I haven't fished down there for blimey. Do you actually fish me to be foot South Rocks then?
Yeah, straight over.
Yeah, go over the back. Yeah. That's right. I haven't fished there now for 20 years, maybe 25 years. So it would be nice to take me back to my roots as well. So yeah, are you on Facebook here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have to add me in a minute, and we'll do it. But we're going to go through some rigs and that with Connor. You guys are welcome to come along if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
Do some rigs and that now, and we'll do a bit more. Okay, mate. So we're going to go through rigs now, and go through some different type of rigs for Connor. Now Connor's been using the pulley rig. I've always gone through the pulley rig already, so we're just going to go through some different rigs here. Now at the end of the day, one thing I would always recommend, and I've just shown him, is a rig wallet. I mean, Connor's gone for the Ian Gold's rig wallet, what he's got there now. I'll give him a list of components to pick up. He's still got like the smooth out ones I give him in there now. He's got some different hooks and stuff, but he's got like the pulley beads, proper pulleys by Breakaway, some Gemini components, some imps type. I can see he's not gone all out on the imps. He's gone for the cheap ones, isn't you? And he'll pay the price for that. He'll pay the price.
We've all got a budget.
I know. What you'll find, you'll get what you pay for. And I personally wouldn't pendulum cast with them.
Right.
Because I know that they've had them bend out and stuff, and everybody thought they were Breakaway, and they weren't. They were Chinese rubbish versions made up, what were being sold on the internet. And yeah, it was a problem going back a few years ago now. I would never buy them. I'll say that now. Look, see that? I'd never ever buy them. But yeah, they'll be all right. Just see what you say. But I'm just pointing out. I've got to be honest with you, and I.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
that's what we're here to do, isn't it?
I would always go Breakaway. If you see everything I've got in there now.
Yeah.
And you can imagine
What's that,
right?
300 quid?
Yeah, there's a lot of money's worth of tackle in there, guys, but I've got 3 boxes in there. So I've got all my Gemini bits, got my Breakaway proper bullies, I've got the STR springs, I've got taupe swivels, I've got mullet swivels, I've got place swivels, I've got the clips for Gemini if I want to splash down. I tend to use them. I don't use them a lot, really, because I'm a big fan of the imp, if I'm honest.
I think I should maybe use those, though, when I'm trying to do the off-the-ground cast on the beach.
Yeah.
So the hook doesn't come off.
So I think, yeah, you should use, yeah, maybe.
Just so I can get that position when I come over the top.
But do you know what? And you're going to laugh at me.
You forgot your imps.
I forgot my imps.
No way. Twice.
I forgot my imps. And do you know why I've forgot them?
It's lucky I bought them.
It's because I took it's because I took them to Spain, and they're all in my pot because I used them up. So unfortunately, your cheap one's gonna have to do today. But right, so what do you want to start with? So basically, rig body, shock leader.
Yeah.
It's got 80-pound shock leader, and he's gone for 60-pound trace. So why have you done that?
My trace, Just because I've always gone a bit lighter on my trace than I have the thick scuba.
Personally, what would you use that for then? So that's a £60 trace line.
I use that for anything when I'm sea fishing, like beach fishing. That's just what I've always used. And then if I'm estuary fishing,
if you're fishing like Seatown, Chesil and stuff like that, you'll get away with using that sort of line on traces because you can play the fish a bit more.
Right.
Where I take you raying, I wouldn't use nothing except from a minimum of £60.
Right.
And I've lost fish, big fish, with £80 by just sure bullying it up over reefs and stuff like that, and it going. £100 if I'm blondieing all day long for trace line. If I'm small-eyed ray fishing, I'll use £80. If I'm using spotties, you could probably get away with a 60 as well. I go a bit overkill because, you know what I mean, I would never want to lose a fish, but at the same time, what you've got to think about, you could suffer by, you could over heavy it, can you? There's a lot of smaller fish, what you mean you wouldn't pick up because of that. But at the end of the day, personally, if we're going ray fishing next weekend and where we're going, I would recommend using 80 as a trace line. So you'd have to use that as a trace line. Right. But one thing I will say, and these are both exactly the same, is when you're doing that and that together, that's fine. But I would never personally use the same shock leader for my trace line, because I just feel when you're clipping it down, sometimes it tangles and stuff like that, because it's used to, it's like the same thing where I'm a big fan of this.
Here it goes. Big. I was going to say
Maxima Camelon, very strong, top quality, £80 that is. I use that for smooth hounding all the reefs and stuff.
Not clear though, is
and
it?
I think it's not, but I use that as my rig body in the channel.
Right.
I personally wouldn't use that on South Devon coastline.
Right.
But this is me personally. I know really good anglers. I've had to talk with Mark Bryce years ago because we went raying down a certain part, and he was using Amnesia certain colour, and I think he was using it at 60, and his was red. I think it was red or black, one of the two. But my OCD wouldn't let me do that. I don't know why. I'm a bit like that when it comes to fishing, and especially in clear water. I like everything clear, but he has colour and he's a fantastic angler. Some of the fish that he's had out, so it might not make sense. It's preference, it is. But you'll find that with doing your own rigs. Right. Just because I'm doing the way what I do it, you might find, hey, I don't like that. You know what I mean? And the whole point of having this conversation is, especially for the viewers, it needs to be right for you. You know what I mean? And exactly the same, like the line, you'll use different lines. Sometimes I'm a big fan, and I can say this now, and I'm going to be honest, of the sport, the Varava sport. And that's the first time you've ever heard me promote that on the internet, because I can't stand veals. That's the only, I'll be truthful, I can't. There's a big ongoing thing what's been going on for years between me and Jansen, I feel, and it's been like, he done like certain articles on me over the years and backwards and forwards, and a lot of the Veals like promotion team, like they're sponsored anglers and stuff, they're not allowed to do nothing with me because of it. I've always wanted to do something with Ben Stockley. He's a fantastic angler, to be honest. He's probably the best angler they've got at the sponsor team. Have you heard of him? You've seen him. I spoke to him when I was away actually, and he's a really good angler. I mean, like top-notch angler. I think Ben's one of the best anglers, especially around Chesil. He goes out and he's a wizard. I call him the wizard, Chesil wizard, because he just catches, like wherever he goes, he catches fish. Very good angler. And I've approached him a few years because I wanted to do a specimen hunt series for him, and he obviously can't do it because of the thing, but it doesn't stop us getting along. You know what I mean? But I know of anglers that, because of what the situation, have walked away from that, but I can now because Southwest Sea Baits stopped Varavas. Hey, get on Matty. Nah, big boys and girls, if you need any of the Varavas gear, be sure to check out Southwest Sea Baits in Plymouth. I love that. When I seen it come on the internet the other day, I was like, because I like to promote things at work, and I'm a big fan of the sport, guys. I really am. It's a quality line. A lot of people may not like it. At the end of the day, you like what you like, don't you? But I'm a big fan of it. It's quality, honestly. The £20, the fish I've caught on that £20 line is phenomenal. It's very strong. I mean, even if you get like knocks and stuff like that, it's still very strong. Wherever lines you get like a dink in it and that, and it would, like, you know what I mean, go under pressure. The 25, I took over a Fort Ventura, I'd fish 25 anywhere. I know full well that if I put 25 with a £100 shock leader and Bellini twist or a spider itch knot, you could pretty much land anything in these water. Honestly, the power in it, you wouldn't break it. I've like, the amount of weed I've pulled in on that and up for, unreal. But yeah, check out Matt South of Sea Baits for all your Varus gear. It's a nice little plug, wasn't it?
You loved that, didn't you?
I did. I love that.
You were waiting.
I know. Because I get loads of people asking me all the time and saying, what lines do you like? And then people see me, and I just, it's one thing I would never promote, but now Matty stocks it. I can say Matt, because that's where I'll get it from now on. Because I normally have to order it from, like, you know what I mean, suck it up and just order it from Veals.
Yeah, put a fake name.
I put my own name and stuff like that, but it's the only place you can get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if it's the only place I can get it, it's
got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, haven't you? So it's one of them, really. Right. So what we're going to start with. So what we're going to start with is this. So we're going to go channel.
Right.
So I'm going to let you use some of this for the main rig. No, actually, you don't need to. You've got all the gear there. I can help you do it. You can use clear if you want. So I've got the Sakuma 100-pound rig body.
Right.
We'll do it as I was doing it down South Devon, and you've got them, right? So what you want to do first is I want to see you do it. You want to put an imp on, mate. And when he's casting on the right-hand side of me. I would recommend getting some proper breakaway imps. I really would, guys, because
we've got a seals giving us a little display.
Sonny!
Hello, boy.
Because the breakaway imps are lovely. They really are. I mean, they're
not as bad as the cheap grey ones, though. You're not ones I want about, the ones that break when they hit the rocks.
Oh no, yeah, no, I've never tried the red ones. I just had a real bad batch of those the ones that weren't breakaway, and people were saying they were breakaway, and they weren't. They were buying them off eBay in little plastic packets. The breakaway ones come in the breakaway packets, and I remember them putting a thing online about it. And you can see the difference. I've tried the cheaper versions. I've seen people have them before. Me personally, nah, not interested. You pay for what you get in fishing, guys, and you know if you buy breakaway, you buy breakaway in Gemini, you've always got a class top quality product what's not going to go in under pressure. Where if you buy cheaper components and stuff, you always, and it's exactly the same with hooks. You buy Mustad, Cox and Raw, Owner hooks, you know what I mean? You've got quality hooks there, you know what I mean? What are going to land fish. And I know people say about the J hook, guys, at the end of the day, a J hook's a J hook, you know what I mean? If you want a stronger hook, you use a different style of hook, as we've gone through. So so what you've done there then, strong enough, isn't it? So how have you done your knot?
Just like a 5-turn.
You've gone through 5 times.
But what I do is when it's this thick, I only go around 3 times.
Right, so what I'll do is cut that off. I'll just show you, see if you do it any different.
That's just because
I missed that there. So I put it through like this.
Yeah.
Right, so what I'll do is take a little bit of thing like that. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, yeah. I'll bring it down through.
And then
I back up through like that. Lots of sliver. Bring down tight.
Lube her up, boy.
Lube her up. You got lead there?
I haven't given my lead away, didn't I?
Have you got lead on your rod?
Yeah.
Yeah, grab that lead if you can. Yeah. Right, so that's set up. I know that's strong now. Okay. The thing with these here, I can feel it's like a paper clip, and I don't recommend it. Definitely don't. So we're not going to go with loads of rigs today, guys. Just going to do a little bonus video for you with us doing what we're going to do. So basically, see that there?
Yeah.
Right. Watch this. Right. I've just broke that imp. I can't do that. I can't do that with a normal imp, right? And I've just showed you that with my hands. That's why I don't use it.
And that's why I brought them, to show the channel.
Yeah, that's why I don't need it. Look at that, right? It's red clips on the floor. You pay for what you get, and it's exactly the same. And people are going to say, oh, Andy, you're just bigging up breakaway. I'm not. I'm a big fan of breakaway. I'm a big fan of Gemini as well. And exactly, I use Gemini products and I've used breakaway products. I use products what I like, and each company are very, very good at doing all of it. I know a lot of my friends, very good anglers, like Rob York and stuff like that. They love the splashdown clip, and they rather have that than the imp. Some of them,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I preferred the imp, and it's down to preference. At the end of the day, it's exactly the same again. Adam, I think he uses both, depending what he's fishing for. If I remember correctly, where I don't like those. When I'm ray fishing, I don't like red and blue in like high vis.
To be fair, I've never used. I only bought those. I never actually used them.
No.
I use these. Obviously, I didn't get the right ones, but it is what it is. I just normally use one of these. See. So it's not really a thing. Yeah, I wouldn't use them. Yeah, chuck us another one out. I won't break this one, guys, but you can see what I was nadoing there, can't you? You can get the gist of what I'm. He was just trying to embarrass me live on national TV. He's learning national TV. So, I mean, I've caught fish on it. No, you have, yeah. But what I'm saying is, you imagine getting. So
if I'm honest, it could be a good thing because you could bring your lead. You know, I mean, it acts as a type of rotten bottom, doesn't it? In a way.
Yeah, I suppose.
But all I would worry about is casting that power.
Yeah. And
it coming off and hitting someone, all because I've gone and spent £2 on instead of £4.
Well, that's lucky that I can't cast hard enough, then, isn't it?
You will do. Right. Well, that's broke without even touching it.
What have you done with that?
I've not even touched that. Right, guys.
You just smashed them up, you, didn't you?
No, all I've done is went to pull it.
That's
terrible. That is terrible. Look, I've actually pulled the lead to tighten up the knot, and it's come out. Look, I've actually broke it.
You've broke it.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do one rig for Connor, and then we're going to send him to my mate. What's he called? Max at Tackle Trader in Newton Abbot. Say hello to Max.
Right there, Max. I'm going to be your biggest fan soon.
Do you know Max?
I do know Max, yeah. I've been in the shop.
I'll tell you what, guys, lovely guy. Lovely tackle shop. I don't know if it's his wife or the other good lady that works in there. What wife is it?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say anything.
I think his wife or his sister. I don't know if it's his wife or sister. But yeah, it's a really good tackle shop. If you're in Newton Abbot area and that, they got massive amounts of like carp fishing and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a very good shop. I hope I didn't offend anybody by that. I didn't know if it's his wife or his sister. I've never really asked, but it's a very good shop, guys. And there you go. So yeah, imp on there first. All right. I'll edit that little bit out. I'll see what it's like. Right, so we're going to make a drop down rig. So basically what I'm doing is about 4.5 foot of line on that there now, yeah, and then somewhere I've got some scissors like so. So what you need now is a bead. Whee! We have an imp in the house.
I've got backups, all right. I have got backups. I do have rigs ready made.
He's cut that off one of my rigs and he's going to be gutted now. What's the difference, right? So I could have bent that out, right? I'm going to do this. This is what I do all the time. So I'll get the imp there like that now. I'll pull this around just to show you lot, because at the end of the day, sorry guys about the darkness, because the light's gone in, which is not nice. But I can pull that imp now, like that, right? And it hasn't moved. It's exactly in the same state as it was before. And I love them, to be honest. My bait clips, that's my favourite bait clip. So we got that now, so we need some beads.
Well, lesson learned.
Need some beads?
Yeah, but you remember when I told you that time?
Wait for this now, wait for this now. Wait for this
You've
now.
been taking out my
Right, we've got some beads.
I thought we were meant to be friends.
We are friends, mate. Right, so basically, I don't think I've got many. I like to use the rubber ones for this, because I just find they cushion the knot. So basically what I've got here now is...
You need glasses there, boy, what?
I do. He's giving it me back, isn't he?
Well, you know, if you're going to dish it out.
Have you got a bent link clip?
Oh, I actually have, believe it or not. I did get most of it, I just didn't get all of it.
Bent link clip.
Bent one, like that.
That's the ones, yeah. Can I have one of them, sir? And a swivel.
You can indeed. You can swivel on something.
Always fun and games, always fun and games. Right, so we've got the swivel there. So I'll put, not swivel, we've got the bent link clip, and then I'll put another bead on, all right? So that basically, guys, is the setup to the drop down rig. Now, over the years, I've had some fantastic fish on this, and I mean fantastic fish. I've had big turbots, I've had big rays, I've had big bass, I've had big bullets, I've had big eels, you name it, I've had it on this rig. It's a lovely rig to use. I've actually used it, I've had big place on it as well. So we've got a couple of swivels here now. You got a proper pulley there, don't we? So what we do is we're going to put one of his swivels onto the end of the clip. As I said, just because I use Gemini breakaway, and only things is right, everybody is fishing on a budget. You fish to whatever you can afford, isn't that right? And he's got here, he's got them as go, power cast,
here we go,
tackle, and I wouldn't use that. Chuck that away.
Why?
Chuck that away. You got a proper pulley there, I know you have. I've seen them. Those breakaway proper pulleys.
Oh, these?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know what you were saying, did I?
He's been on Chinese sites, this one, hasn't he?
No,
You've been on that Wish, haven't you? Don't lie, tell me the truth, he's been on Wish.
Yeah, I wish. we need a bit line on them bad boys.
Yeah.
Right, so these ones.
These are Seafish power cast.
Right, if you go on my channel, you watch me pulling smooth rounds on them, so don't get too upset about it.
I don't know if they're going to be good or not. I can't give it a rating, but I wouldn't use them.
Well, we can't all be perfect, can us?
No. No, just, you know, the trouble is, you don't know how they're made, do you? How much were they?
How much were they?
Yeah.
Like £6 or something like that.
And you probably got double the amount, I'll give you that, than that, but the trouble is it's a swivel, mate. I don't know what swivels are in them. Like those swivels there, they're the like proper Gemini swivels, aren't they? I don't know what swivels they are. The only reason I wouldn't use them, I'll be truthful now, is because of danger. If I went to a power cast on the beach and it hit someone, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. That's the only reason I'm saying it. I'm not saying out of anything else. I'm not being a sausage.
Sausage.
Right, so proper pulley. All right, in there like that. All right, and then after that, then there.
Yeah.
And you got another swivel there, haven't you?
Another swivel. Another swivel. Yeah.
Right. And then when you get these proper pulleys, you get them with these clips. What I normally do is chuck them away. But I don't.
Not in the sea, you don't.
No, not in the sea, I don't. I'll chuck them in
I'll
the
put
bin.
them in my tackle box.
Put them in your tackle box. Have you got a bait clip? Like a Gemini clip?
Oh, you're going to have a go at me now, aren't you? I only use the long ones, don't I? You ain't going to use it.
What one?
Well, the one with the long bit, so it don't come off.
No. Right. I'll show you.
So we're just going to rob his tackle boxes.
That's all he's come here down here for, isn't it? Right. These are the ones you want. You can get super strength for one of these, but you don't really need them. The other ones are just as good. Okay. So basically, that goes on there then, like that, yeah?
Right.
And that one there would tie to your line.
Oh, I've got them. I bought them. I thought I'm talking about the wrong thing.
Mine, didn't he? All right, so we'll just clip that in there like that. Here we go, guys. I do apologise if I do upset anybody with my politics and I don't know, just controversialness. But at the end of the day, I got to a point in my life and I think to myself, do you know what? I just don't care no more. Yeah. Yeah, what ones? Yeah, they might work. They're a bit different than what. Yeah, they might work. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what you would want anyway. Right. Because that'll go to your line. Because then what you can do, clip that on, and then when you go and fishing, you've got your trace line coming off of that there. Now, what we'll do your trace line now. Yeah. And then if you've got a spare rig, you can bait that one up, and then you undo that there, and then just clip the other one on.
Oh, ideal.
So you've got bait clips all the time.
Wicked.
He is learning something really.
Lucky I like you, innit? You're with that wall in the water pipe. Right.
Oh my God, we're not going there.
Why?
Right, that's another thing.
No, that's not. That's what I use my rig buoy for. See, that's why that's 80 and that's 60.
All right.
That's what I was saying to you a minute ago.
All right. What we're going to do?
And I still catch fish. Watch my videos.
What we're going to do? I'm going to put this. You're going up Chesil tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. So we can set this up for a Chesil. But when you're doing this for next week's trip,
yeah,
£80.
Yeah. Because I'm going to go. I'm going to go and get some £100 anyway.
Right. So that's that. Right. So I'm going to tell you a story. Years ago, I went fishing with a mate of mine, and we were fishing for rays. And he managed to hit into a lovely big smalleye. I mean, big smalleye, £11, £12, really nice fish on the surface. And just as I went to go down to land it, it went. And I was like, what the hell's, what's happened there? And he was using £30 trace line. And he said to me, I was like, I told you 80. And he's like, nah, that'll land £30 fish. And using lighter trace lines probably is less thing to put the fish off, but at the same time, rays and a lot of the species we go for really got tough mouths and they'll just go for it like butter. So that's the reason I could do overkill, just for the simple fact, if I hit into that fish of a lifetime, I really don't want to lose it. Now if I get you to hold that there, like that, right, so basically we're clipping in like so. Right, what I normally do, Connor, is I'll bring this down, you can lift that up in the air a minute, go right up. Right, I normally come down to the imp, right? Just above the top of the imp, give it 2 inches up the top, and that'll be mine, yeah?
Right.
So all you've got to do there now is put your hook on. You got any hooks?
Yeah, I have. You're going to have a go at me.
No, I'm not.
You embarrass me.
No, no.
Right,
I'm not.
Because you said to scale down a bit, I went, size 3 manta extra.
It's spotty, small, that's perfect for up sea town and that.
I only use...
Let's have a look at these a minute. No, let's show people because thing. So how much? He's got these Phoenix. I don't know where he's got them from, but it looks like it's got a mixture of. Oh, that's hooks.
No, that's just ones that I've just put back in. But these are Phoenix.
Then he's got
circles.
Sakuma.
Phoenix circles, which I've got.
Are they nice?
I don't know. Have a feel. I like them. That's what I use.
They're not bad. They're very sharp. I've not seen them before, mate. I'm just trying to see if I can bend it out. No, they're strong enough.
Well, you always use a bigger circle at the top because I normally put the bigger bit of bait at the top to the fatter end.
So I would do that the opposite way around.
Right.
I'd always put, because the top hook basically is keeping your bait in as a hook pedal. So what I would normally use is like a 4-0 on the bottom. It depends what fish I'm targeting. If I'm targeting blondes, I normally go for like a 5 or a 6-0 on the bottom, or even a 7-0. I like the 7, some of the 7-0 type hooks, but like strong hooks. Yeah. And then on the top, I'll put like a 4 or 5-0 chinny on it.
Yeah.
Just to lock it in.
I like this bit because when I put it in the top, the hook's point's still quite showing. Because these in a smaller one, you lose the point.
These ones here, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you like circles on the top, that's down to preference. But what hook are you going to use? You got any chinnies there?
No, I haven't. I normally use those. That's my 5s. Limitless.
I wouldn't use them.
No,
personally, but
I don't have any.
To be honest,
I only have those.
I'm a funny at that sort of stuff because I only use like. It's exactly the same again. I use what I find works. Now over the years, I've used that many dodgy hooks when you're paying like money for them that I wouldn't do it now. You know what I mean? So if I normally go for established brands like Sakuma, Cox and Raw, those owner hooks are absolutely lovely. They're really deal.
I only have those for circles.
Right, so that's the circles. Right, so that's fine. So we got the 2 hooks there, but I would say that's a bit big. And you not got no 3-0 hooks?
No, I've only got those in 3-0 because I normally use a 5 and a 5, don't I?
Right, so what I would probably do there then is do that a bit differently. I'd use a single hook.
Right.
Right, but what I would do if you're using a single hook, I'll show you something here now. Right, I would use a bait stop. I don't know if these are going to work on these. Let's try it. Because you're using a single hook, I don't think this is going to work on these. I think that this is too... Oh no, it will do. £80. There you go. Right, so what I would do is I'll put a stop there like that. And then same again, I'm a nightmare for this. Me personally. Right, I put a sequin over the top of that. And then what I would do is use a single hook, okay? But with the single hook, you only need like medium sand deals.
Yeah.
And when you get rays, do you notice where they tend to hit?
The middle. The
middle of the middle. They always thing. So what I would do is just set that. Really, I would use a pennel, but I wouldn't use one of those big ones. Just because I feel it, especially if you're fishing up there in the daytime tomorrow.
But is it because obviously when I had all my thornbacks the other day, I had them all on for a pair of size 5s.
Right, the thing with thornbacks, and like I said to you before, bring down, you're fishing in dirty, murky water where they're picking up on scent and that and coming over and they're just nabbling it. They don't even know they're hooked. Then they got to take off, and especially those circles and that probably be really good for it because they'd hook them up straight away, and they're very strong hook for lifting them up over. I would never use that if I was going to the bring down because you've got to lift fish and stuff like that with it.
Yeah.
You're fishing like Seatown or wherever you're fishing tomorrow, it's going to be flat calm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or whatever, and it's going to be clean. So you can, if you feel the fish going down, like I know Derek and Ben and all that, they probably use 15. I'm not sure of Ben, but I know Derek used to use 15-pound mainline, and he would use like 40-pound traces. But if he's had like blondes on there like 16-pound. He's had like a big small lines. He's had some really good formbacks and everything up there. You know what I mean? But he would use lighter gear, where I'd go up there and I would be using 80-pound traces, sand deal. I'm still hitting the same fish as him. You know what I mean? But the difference is, I remember the first time we were fishing and I cast out and he had a fish at £10 free, and then about 20 minutes later I had a fish at £10 4, and he said to me, "What are you doing?" And my ray was on the surface 100 yards out. Yeah, I had it on the surface. It was coming through like a frisbee, and he was like that. But the trouble is, I was fishing a lot down South Devon at the time, and because I was fishing down South Devon, where I was fishing, and I'll take you there. I'm not going to say it on camera, but I'll take you there. But there was like a reef right in close. You've got to cast over the reef, which is probably 60 or 70 yards. You've got to cast 100 yards plus to get there. You'll be all right with your hitting now, and then use rotten bottoms as well. But if you get a fish on, so what I was going to say to Connor later on, because when we're going fishing next week, you need to have fish control. You need to be able to get a fish up. And I see a lot of anglers, and I see people still to this day what have been fishing a long time, and they still don't know what they're doing with fish control, because at the end of the day, if you got a rod and you're reeling the rod and you drop it all the way down, you start reeling and then you bring it up again like that, right? Well, as soon as you drop that rod, you've dropped the average size rod, 13 foot, 14 foot, you've given that much line. But you've not just given that much line, you've given from the line from there to the sea
to the drop,
to the drop, but you've given all the drop what's going all into the water. That one there, you probably got 100 yards worth of line. You've probably given the fish 20 or 30 foot of water of line straight away to drop. When you're giving a fish that much line, that fish hasn't got no contact. He can do what he wants with it. I'm going to overdo a little bit of video now as I'm talking, okay, guys? So as you can see, this bit of stingray fishing and where I'm over in Tenerife, we're fishing over a reef. Now, a lot of people wouldn't land this fish because I can't drop my rod in this reel and just game it like that. I've got to stay at all tensions with the rod. So if you see me through this part of what the video I'm watching now, you can see I'm not even reeling at times, and I'm holding the rod and I'm just pulling back on the rod. What that does is, because the fish is trying to move backwards, it lifts the fish, okay? What you'll find, if you've got big fish, it's harder to get them to lift, right? But if you do that, maintain like that, as they're taking off, they'll naturally move upwards on the surface. And what that'll help you do, if you've got any rough grounding closer, it helps you get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's
100%.
But that's
use it like a lead lift, basically.
But
pull the
that's
fish up to the top of the
but that there.
Yeah. You can't.
I wouldn't fish a 3/0 manta, right? Your J hooks aren't very strong hooks.
I was actually watching a channel the other day, and he had an underlit rail, and he was pulling it up Chesil Beach, and he managed to get it, and he pulled it up, and the hook was like this, and that was actually that's
not down to you shouldn't be using that hook for that type of fishing. That worm hooks like cod and stuff like that is perfect for you. Know what I mean, if you want a bigger hook and a stronger hook, you use a chinny or whatever. You know what I mean, and it's not down to the hook. It's not made to do that business. You know what I mean? But I would quite happy to fish for that on beaches with for spotties. I know guys would fish like for, you know what I mean, different species and that. But where you go in like channelling and stuff like, oh, where are we next week? I would put a chinny on the bottom and a chinny on the top. So maybe like a 4 on the bottom or a 5 on the bottom. You can use jakes if you want, but my main top hook would be chinny all the way.
That's what I'm here for, to learn, right? And then I can go and pick some bits up.
Game on. So that's it, guys. The rain's come in. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. And yeah, we'll catch up with you in episode 5.
And if I catch a fish on this, I'm going to call it Andy. And if the hook bends out, you know what I'll be calling.
Get on. See you later on, guys.